Hello there. Well, the newspapers have recently been full of stories about how the post-Brexit transition phase is causing significant problems for anybody doing business with the EU. But how accurate is the picture they're portraying? Well, we actually have data now on how manufacturers are feeling in the form of the Southwest Manufacturing Advisory Service's quarterly Barometer, which surveyed nearly 300 manufacturers last month. Here's a quick look at what the survey demonstrates. Almost two-thirds of companies have seen negative price changes within their supply chain since leaving the EU. Availability of raw materials is an issue for 56% of firms. 54% cited complications with exporting and 56% with importing following the end of transition on December 31st. And less than a third believe they're getting the right support and guidance from government on how to navigate trade post-Brexit. On the face of it, not good news. On a more positive note, though, just over a fifth feel there are reshoring opportunities, and the overall picture does show signs of a recovery, with 31% of SME manufacturers increasing sales over the past 6 months, and 44% expecting further growth between now and August. A third of firms are planning to take on new staff, whilst 39% say that they are ready to start spending on new machinery and technology. Well, let's talk to one of the firms that took part in that survey, the agricultural machinery manufacturer and supplier, Guazar of Shrewsbury, and its MD, Victor Edwards. Victor, welcome to the programme.
Thanks very much, Nick. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, how has your business been affected by the changes that have been forced upon it, if you like, since the end of the customs union, or since the UK left the customs union and the single market?
Well, the answer to that is it's like falling off a cliff edge on the 1st of January. Our EU business just has ground to a complete halt. We've been unable to get product abroad, and we are stymied with trying to resolve it. We can't get to the bottom of the problem.
Oh, do you think you will get to the bottom of the problem?
I feel that there's been no preparation made for the changes in hand, and there's been no pre-planning, no resource put in place. So really people are trying to find their own way through what I can only call a pretty chaotic situation. Couriers are not designed. High volume couriers are not designed to handle large amounts of forwarding. They're in new territory. Traditional forwarding agents deal with big shipments. So we end up with a situation where people are just mulling around trying to find their way through this chaos.
But the government would likely say that this is your fault. They said that all companies should have been match fit for the end of the transition period.
Yes, this is an interesting position. We spent some time getting ready for exporting on a traditional basis, and we have the data and the systems and produce what is required to export. Just so you know, we've been exporting for something like 50 odd years. We export to a lot of non-EU countries, so export is not new to us. And these routes are well traveled, and the systems are not dissimilar to what we're using in the EU. What hasn't happened is that they haven't upped the capacity of these systems, or any at all, and the resource in terms of people. So you cannot push a 6-inch volume of data down a 2-inch pipe, and that's the problem.
So it sounds to me like it could eventually get resolved. I'm not an exporter. I've never exported anything in my life. Is the expectation, the sort of documentary and regulatory expectation made of you when exporting to the EU any different from what it is to any of the other non-EU countries that you sell to?
Not really, and that's the frustration. We don't see the documentation as an obstacle at all. The problem is that these systems are not talking to each other, and I'm not convinced the government export arm has got it under control, because the data should flow. You can imagine it's like pass the parcel. You put something into a portal, it goes to another one and another one and another one, and it pops out in Sweden or pops out in Germany. These things all have to be dovetailed and pass data to one another. And this is the problem. The the route of exporting is not no different to, we do it all day. As I say, Iceland is no hassle. We can get stuff to Norway. We can get stuff to some of the other places that are not even, in discussion, Africa, the States. So this is a system problem and a capacity problem.
I was going to ask you if the impact of all this is going to reshape your business long term, but sounds to me like you're not quite certain what's going to happen next, looking ahead next week, let alone a year or two.
You're quite right. We actually are working on a week-to-week basis. What is frustrating is that we have incredibly good relationships with people all over the EU. We've been around and been doing this a long time. These are people who are very well known to us. So they are holding out, trying furiously to wait for the arrival of their product. And so the answer is we've got probably another month before we have to make some serious changes. We have already are doing that, and I believe that we will have to restructure to contain or retain some of that EU business.
Reshoring has been bandied around as something that will possibly compensate for some of the business that's currently being lost. Obviously, reshoring, making components here in the UK that would otherwise have been imported. This is a positive mood. According to the Barometer findings, a significant number of companies believe that this is going to happen. Do you agree that this is on the horizon, and does it affect you?
Not really. We obviously are pushing product into the EU. So reshoring will not help us. Our local UK manufacturing people that we service, we're like a technical wholesaler. There's no difference. In fact, that business is booming, not because of reshoring, but because our competitors are locked out of this market as we are locked out of theirs. So there's a compensatory position. We are not struggling, but we are throwing away business that's been hard earned and hard looked after for many, many years, only because of sheer poor planning. So you're not going to reshore to re-export again because it's too complicated. And that's what people have forgotten. People want it to be uncomplicated. The system should run. It's not difficult. It's like your passport control. These days, you wander up, show your passport, and the gate opens. Now, that's not impossible to achieve, and we could do that quite easily with the export markets. So this is all unnecessary, and it's pushing the prices and the costs to the end user that no one in the general public really talks about here, because people haven't thought about it. But there are big cost increases coming to the man in the street, and these are just because of inefficiency, and that's perhaps my biggest concern. I don't mind if we made a choice not to go there, but it's just pure inefficiencies that are causing these problems.
And I want to be absolutely clear, Victor. The inefficiency is around the planning on the government end of the system. They weren't ready. It wasn't you.
Absolutely. If I hear one more advert or one more campaign call about get ready for Brexit, I'll kill myself because really, the only people that haven't got ready are the government. I have, by the way, written to our MP and got a very lackluster response, and they should be brought to book. They made these decisions. They should have thought it through, and we trusted them to make the right decisions, and I really believe they've taken us up a few alleyways that we don't want to be in and haven't declared them along the way.
Final point, Victor. More positive news from the Barometer. Of the nearly 300 companies who responded, a significant number said that recruitment and investment are both looking to be in positive territory in the coming months. That's obviously happy news for manufacturing. Are you feeling the same way at Guazar?
No, as I said to you, our investment profile has not changed. We've grown organically over the years, and we continue to do that. So our local investment hasn't changed because of the situation. Sadly, we're going to have to invest in subsidiaries in Europe to take our product into those markets so that we can be closer to that supply chain or be part of their supply chains, because otherwise it won't work. So that's going to be a loss of jobs to people in these respective countries. And again, as I said, to me, it's unnecessary, but that's how it's going to be.
So just to clarify that, you are moving some of your business into the EU to try and do an end run around this hassle?
We'll have to. We've got, as I said to you, if you've got a factory and you're making whatever it's seed drills or whatever, and you need 5 widgets from a company in the UK, you'll only wait for so long. You can't hold a machine up that's worth a couple $100,000 for 50 pounds worth of parts. So we'll just be marginalized. And I mean, we're getting it every day. We employ people abroad, so these are sales, these are direct employees, and they cannot service their customers. I mean, it's just simple. If you don't arrive with the product, there's not much to talk about at the next sales call. So it's very, very frustrating in that regard.
Well, Victor, I feel bad for you and your business and your customers, of course. I do hope you find a way through this that is of minimal impact to the good people of Shrewsbury and to your good selves. So good luck with it all, and thank you for being with us.
No problem. And thank you very much for your time. Great to chat to you.
Victor Edwards from Guazar in Shrewsbury. This has been a Zanu TV special report. I'm Nick Peters. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.